Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. First up at 10 tonight, as the wait continues for the outcomes of the Tyre Nichols death investigation and release of body cam video, Stephen Pimpo spoke with longtime civil rights attorney Walter Bailey, who weighed in on the case and the current state of MPD. So, Stephen, Bailey is a well-respected name in and around Memphis and says this case reminds him of a case from the past.
Rudy, that's right. Attorney Walter Bailey sent a letter to MPD Police Chief C.J. Davis thanking her for how she's handled this investigation so far. This investigation is all too similar to one from over 50 years ago. But back then, Bailey says he had to move heaven and earth and fight against oppression at every level just to get it in court.
Pursuit by law enforcement officers against alleged traffic violators, and the end result being tragic when it shouldn't be.
He's seen it before. 52 years ago. Memphis attorney and civil rights leader Walter Bailey can't help but notice the similarities between the death of 29-year-old Tyre Nichols and the 1971 death of 17-year-old Elton Hayes.
They were bludgeoned to death. Both. That's the similarity there. Sadistically bludgeoned, it appears.
Hayes was beaten to death in a ditch by Memphis police officers and Shelby County sheriff's deputies, who were acquitted of the crime.
Riots in the street angered citizens, and that was shortly after the death of Dr. King, so we were already on a powder keg.
Those protests led to widespread reform within local law enforcement. And while Bailey says Nichols' death is evidence that more work needs to be done, he says the climate in Memphis is much different today.
Chief Davis, in that she showed courage and didn't equivocate. It moved as it felt appropriate, and it showed leadership.
But former MPD Director Buddy Chapman says the trust between police and community has long been deteriorating, even before Nichols' death.
When people in the community see a police car roll past, do they view that as somebody that's here to help me or somebody that's here to harass me? Is he viewed as somebody that's making my life better, or is he viewed as somebody I'm afraid of?
According to family, Nichols was afraid during the traffic stop. Chapman says the police department faces a long road rebuilding the public's trust.
There's no reason for a traffic pursuit by police officers should result in death.
Possible solutions that both Chapman and Bailey offered include better training, more oversight, and closer inspection on the hiring of new officers. Rudy.